A very good morning, dear students. So, today we are going to discuss the conservation of natural resources. So, in the before video also I discussed conservation of natural resource only, but there it's a starting introduction class. So, there you are studied what is natural resources and types of natural resources. In that, renewable resources and non-renewable resource, and how to conserve the natural resource you already studied in a previous video. In that you studied to conserve soil, so the characters of soil and soil erosion and the conservation of soil. So in this class I am going to teach you that to conserve water and forest, how to conserve water and where you found water and how many percentage of their water, right? So first, water is another most important renewable resource here. So it is found in sea, ocean, rivers, stream, lake, ponds, pools and polar ice caps from the hydrosphere. So the in these all you find a water, and you all know this, right? So about 75 percentage of earth's surface is covered with hydrosphere. So the main component of the hydrosphere is water. The name only indicates that hydro, nothing but a water here. So about 75 percentage of earth is covered with the hydrosphere. So water is a natural resource, nothing but a renewable resource. It is a valuable national asset, and it forms main requirement for a human being. That's nothing but for drinking. Every human being need water for a survival of the life, and we depend upon water for drinking, cleaning, agriculture, transportation and also hydropower. To generate electricity we are using water also. So there are two kinds of water here, salt water and fresh water. So water is available when water is recycled in a water cycle. You all know about water cycle, how we get a water and how it is recycled. So here two forms are there. Salt water, nothing but we call a marine water, which contain a salt content, and a fresh water which we found in a river, streams. So these are two main types of waters. So when water falls on earth, very small fraction of this water percolates deep in the ground. This is called a groundwater. We all know that groundwater, which is absorbed by the small pores between the soil. So to fill that gap, there will be absorption of water. So the depth in the soil where all the pores spaces of a soil particles are saturated with water only, it is called water table. Water table nothing but when the water is absorbed by the soil, the small soil pores will be filled with that water. That gap is filled with the water. So that's nothing but a water table. The groundwater provides soil moisture for a plant growth. Groundwater is frequently used by human consumption. So here when you put a water to the plant, it is absorbed by the soil particles. So it is a very important for the plants for their survival, for their process, and it is all groundwater is frequently using by the human beings for their daily needs. So here comes fall of a water table level, nothing but the fall of the ground water level. So the groundwater level goes down drastically over a period of few years. Nowadays it is increasing. Groundwater level is becoming less nowadays. So as a result, our wells and hand pumps become dry during summer. Tube wells and a well also have to be dug deeper to get a water. So nowadays our wells or hand pumps are dry during summer season. We all know this. it is going to be dry during summer season because groundwater level is becoming decreasing. So that if we don't get a water, we are digging deeper into the ground to get a water. So that's also affect the groundwater level. Water level goes down if the rate of pumping out of a groundwater is more than the rate at which the rainwater percolates into the earth. So here when you dig more in the soil to get a water, that will decreases the groundwater level, right? It affects the soil to again to percolate the water. And here deforestation, nothing but a cutting of trees. By cutting of trees also rainfall will be less, so the water collection is also again become less. You already this you studied this in a water cycle, right? If you are having more number of trees or a large forest, rainfall will be more and the collection of or absorption of the groundwater to the soil will be more. So overgrazing and a construction of road buildings are also responsible for the reduction of a water level. So if for the construction of buildings we are cutting trees, we are making deforestation for making roads, that's also affect the water level. So depletion of water table can cause damage of the standing crops as the roots of these plants are unable to reach up to the water table. Nothing but our standing crops will affect. If the groundwater level will be low, then they won't get a proper mineral and nutrition and water from the soil. So next, how to conserve this? How to we have to conserve water? So developing of a integrated watershed plan for a drinking water, irrigation and a industrial uses. For a irrigation purpose, for cultivation purpose, for industrial and for main drinking purpose, we are going to do integrated watershed plan. And wastage of water should be avoided. It is a first foremost basic step. We don't want to waste a single drop of water. It is very important. Water is very important because nowadays in earth water level is going to decrease. That's why we have to save water for our future also, future generations also. So adaptation of various flood control method. For a flood also, if flood increases because of deforestation, then that's also loss of the water also. That is also a reason of loss of water. So we have to we have to adopt various flood control method. To control flood we have to adopt various methods there. And the deforestation should be discouraged. We have to avoid deforestation. Rather than that, we have to encourage afforestation, nothing but a planting of trees in the deforestation area. Where the trees are cutted in that area, again we have to replant there. We have to cultivate a new plant. We have to make that area fulfilled and a greenery, and it should be very happy for us also by planting a tree, and it is useful to the earth and for your next generation also. And next, harvesting of rainwater technique should be promoted, and it is being encouraged by government also. We have to do rain harvesting method. You already studied this in your previous classes, previous year also. Harvesting method. And a rainwater which falls on a roof of building is collected into deep trenches in the ground. It thus replenishes groundwater instead of just flowing it open drains. So we don't want to waste rainwater also. We have to collect from our house, by our roof of buildings. By there also we have to collect the groundwater. That is also use for the our next anything we are using that water also. That's not any contaminated water. That is also pure water only. So these are the some basic conservations of the water. And we studied water table and water conservation. So next comes forest. It is also very important natural resource. Nowadays it is becoming less. Forest area is becoming less compared to the before year. So forest are very important renewable resource. It is also a renewable resource. Many kinds of organisms, birds, animal live here. So in a forest you find a number of variety of animals, birds, right? So organisms also. Forest bring rain and prevent soil erosion. We already studied what is soil erosion. So forest will bring rain and prevent. So if you have more number of trees, then you get a more number of water, right? You studied this in a water cycle. And a forest gives out oxygen and absorb carbon dioxide, thus purify the atmosphere. So here, by the process of respiration photosynthesis, that's the plant will absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen to the atmosphere. So it will purify the atmosphere. Forests prevent floods, provide different types of medicine, timber for furniture and buildings. We get gum, latex, resin and a pulp for a paper industry. So forestry is having so many economic benefit also. So here it prevent flood and it provide different types of medicinal plants we get in a forest, and it is used as a timber for furniture, right? And for buildings also we are using wood, right? And for gum, latex, resins and a pulp for the paper industry. These all are the uses of the plants only. By the forest we are we are getting these all things for our economic purpose also. So man has done deforestation for his selfish needs, such as for building construction, road making, for getting timber, villagers cut tree to get wood for burning purpose also. So nowadays deforestation increasing by the human activities and human selfish needs, because we are thinking ourselves only. We are not thinking of our future or about our surrounding, right? Or other, we are not thinking about other animal survival also. Just we are thinking ourselves and we are cutting trees. We are making deforestation for our self purpose, for construction buildings, road and for our economic also. We are using forest and trees. So now effect of deforestation. By cutting of trees, what will be the effects? So soil erosion is the result of deforestation. We studied in our previous video about soil erosion. So if you cut a more number of trees, then it will be a soil erosion. For example, you are seeing Kerala, Kodagu. By cutting of trees for making deforestation, there you find so much of flood also. So deforestation affects rainfall and a water cycle is disturbed. So in a water cycle, more number of plants needed for the rain, right? Again the rainwater will be collected and absorbed by the groundwater. Again it is vapored. So the water cycle is disturbed by the deforestation. Oxygen carbon dioxide balance is disturbed, which may lead to air pollution. I already told in the previous slide that atmosphere will be purified by the plants by releasing oxygen and absorption of carbon dioxide. If you make deforestation, then it will be not balanced here. Oxygen carbon dioxide balance will be disturbed and it will increase in the more air pollution. And a habit of various animals like birds, insects is destroyed, due to which certain species of animals and birds may extinct. Here, if we cut a forest or a plants, then the animals or various birds or organisms will not get a natural habitat. That's why nowadays our wild animals are coming in the cities also. Have you seen, I think, in newspapers or TV? So and some birds and some animals are getting extinct due to the deforestation also. So next, how to conserve it? Now you studied the effect of deforestation, how to conserve the forest. Forest Afforestation of deforested areas become necessary to get sufficient rainfall. So here we have to carry afforestation process. Each and everyone's responsibility to do afforestation, nothing but a planting a tree in a deforestation area. We have to plant a new tree to get a sufficient rainfall, and a forest should be protected from a fire. Forest fires can be controlled by spraying fire existing solutions. So here the largest forest is Amazon. I think last year it is got fired. So we have to control it by spraying fire existing solutions, and overgrazing should be avoided here. In rivers forest and reserve forest, no commercial exploitation should be allowed. In a reserve forest, we don't want to do exploitation there, and selective cutting of trees in the forest may be allowed rather than cutting all the trees. If you need any tree for a useful purpose, then cut only that type of tree, not to cut whole the forest only, not to destroy whole the forest. Rather than that, we have to cut a selective tree, right? So these are the some basic steps to conserve the forest, right? So these are the some renewable resources. In the natural resource, we have to know about this, and we have to use this in the daily life. We have to save water, we have to save forest. These are two important renewable resources. So thank you.